Well, you did want the interview, and this is as good a place as any, is it not? What do you expect? Yes. You will be safe. This was your idea, remember? This was you who wanted, dare I say, an interview with a vampire. And nighttime. That's the time where I'm available. We did, the middle of nowhere, in the middle of a beautiful dark forest. It's the perfect setting. You are as safe as a babe in a mother's arms. I have no intentions of cutting your life short. You are the author of my life after death story, so it would not make any sense to kill you. Well, maybe wait until the book's published. I kid. So, where do you want to begin? The classic. When was I made into a vampire? 1654. It was a long time ago, but you see, it seems just like yesterday. Those were extraordinary times back then. Simple. Although I must admit, the people did not smell the same. Their first priority was not cleanliness. Yes, people did not live long in those days, but that was not because of my kind. It could have been there was a lot of illness and, Oh, yes. Oh, yes, it affected my family as well. My living family. I lost 2 brothers and 1 sister to disease. I believe now they call it like contaminated water. Yes. No, I seem to always have a strong disposition in my human life. I was bored one night, and I took a candle and I went into the woods just to explore. It was always my nature. And I happened upon a dark figure hunched over something. And when he gazed up at me, his face, his mouth was covered with blood, and he was feeding on a deer. Oh yes, tough times you can feed on animals, but we prefer human. What happened? Oh, let's just say I got a set of fangs that night. He gave me an offer that I could not refuse. Yes. No, he actually startled me when he spoke. I was not afraid, even when I saw him feeding upon the animal. I was more amazed and intrigued than anything. No, I did not know him. He was a total stranger. Yes, from time to time I do see him still. He is still, well, I wouldn't say alive, but he still walks his plane, yes. He is my maker, after all. He will always know where I am at, and I will always know where he is at. It is our connection. He asked me if I wanted to die and have the same fate as my family was having, and I didn't want that. But it was a dilemma because I was 17 and I didn't want to, I did not want to leave my mother and father and the rest of my siblings behind. So I was selfish and I was just thinking of myself. So he turned me that night and we went underground until the next night, where he taught me how to feed. No, it was not a deer. It was an 18-year-old farmhand from the village next door to ours. No, I do not remember his name. It's been so long. I probably blocked it out on purpose. I do not relish taking lives, especially the very first one. Because you are like a wild animal when you first feed and you rip them apart. So imagine the screams that echo in your head for centuries. Yes. I am afraid I still have a little bit of humanity left after all these centuries. That I feel pity. And I feel their anguish. That is why I have trained myself to feed only when necessary and never for sport. It is not sport to take another's life. It is a necessity. Please, shall we move on to another question? Thank you. Let me ask you something, though. Why would you want to write a book about us, my kind, and namely me? We'll talk here and talk there. I was amazed when you tracked me down. I usually do not like to be found because there's always trouble. somebody always trying to blackmail you or strong arm you into making them immortal. Yes, I have, but never because I was forced to. It's actually easy to eliminate enemies. You promise them that you're turning them. You drain almost to the last drop. And you never let them feed from you. And then they die an agonizing death and you can watch it. That is the only time that I enjoy watching humans suffer. Is when they try to blackmail me into getting something that they want. Very selfish. Humans are very selfish. Yes. Please carry on with your questions. No. I did not turn any of my family. I left them as they were, and I disappeared into the night. I've never seen their resting places. I've never sought out family generations. That's not part of me anymore. I imagine it would make me sad. I do not enjoy sadness. I enjoy life and love. Sadness and sad times. They are behind me centuries ago. And they should stay there. My young friend, have you ever thought of becoming one of us? Absolutely not. It is not an offer, but a question. You seem so enamored and fascinated by my kind. Well, we all have a dark side. But be careful. In this day and age, there are more things to be afraid of in the night than vampires. Oh, we will get into that later. Continue. The dawn comes faster these nights. And I do not want to get stuck. Yes. I've had many companions over the years. Oh, I've loved them all. I've had centuries to love. No, I do not. No, I have never made them into vampires. I've always loved them too much to give them that burden, even when they begged for it. Even when Death was upon them, and sickness was plaguing them. I could have put them out of their misery. But I did not want them to suffer an eternity with vampirism. It is not all glamour, you know. We do not all sparkle. You see, those movies glamorized and made more people seek us out because that's how they thought it was, a movie. Do you smell that certain smell in the air, my friend? Yes. No matter what I do, I will always smell like that. A crypt, death, decay. You cannot take that away with scents and perfumes. Being a vampire, you will always smell like rotting flesh. And I would not wish that on anybody. Benefits of being a vampire. History. You become part of history. You see it. For the most part, history still happens during the night. But you become part of history. Even in your lifetime, as short as it is, you witness history. But I am part of it. Oh, I do. I miss the simpler ways. Us vampires are not big fans of technology. Too many things get invented that can find where we lay when the sun is upon us. And we like to keep our resting places hidden, away from prying eyes and unscrupulous humans. If you think vampires are bloodthirsty, you'd be amazed at what some humans would do to facilitate immortality. So then, do you have more questions for me, or shall we continue this another time and call it a night? 1 hour and 3 minutes to be exact. And I do not want to feel that upon my skin, so I must catch my dinner before I retire for the day. So, my human friend who is very interested in documenting my life, I will talk to you soon, and we'll add more chapters to your book. Adieu, my friend. Adieu.